back now, it's been over 6 months, and you're thinking, boy, I was a little bit naive going into the process.
I was a lot naive. And it's funny because I even had a friend that had done it, and Elio undersold it to me. You know, I mean, I asked him the weekend, and they kind of said, look, we need to know by tomorrow sort of thing. We were actually at a race, and I sat with him for a long time and chatted, asked a lot of questions. And even still, I was not prepared for what actually it all entailed.
You know what's surprising to me is that a lot of people realize it's a physical journey and you're going to be sore, but it's a very emotional journey that you have to open yourself up to. What surprised you the most?
Honestly, I mean, I'm not a creative person, and I'm not surrounded by creative people. God bless them all, but mechanics and engineers, we're all very practical. It's all, this is what has to be done, you know, X achieves Y, and that kind of thing. Being immersed in this world where you are just surrounded by creatives was very intimidating, very daunting at first, but by the end, I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed the creative process so much by the end. You know, the last couple of dances, I'd got to a point where I could suggest a move for a certain point, or I already kind of knew what direction Sharna was going to go with a certain part of the song. I just kind of started to learn her style, and I just became really surprised with how much I kind of enjoyed it all, to be honest, at the end.
And I love what you said to me a little bit earlier, talking about Sharna and what she did as a pro for you and how she created dances.
Her whole thing, and she said it from day one, and I've even heard her coach other pros on it, is it's not about her, it's not even about the dance, it's about the contestant. And she is so good at creating a dance just for that contestant, for just that style of dance, to just that song. She takes herself out of the equation. She is simply, you know, a tool to help you look as good as possible, which is really what the competition's about.
And this is what I always wanted to know, because in racing, you have to make split decisions very quickly. In dance on live TV, sometimes you do as well. How did your racing skills help you?
It's funny, I mean, you never would have thought there were any parallels between ballroom dancing and motorsports, but there actually ended up being quite a few, you know, in terms of how I use my body in a race car and how I'm in tune with my body, listening to what the car's telling me, inputs from the car. I got inputs from her, and like little things that I could adjust quicker than the average person. And then, yeah, for sure, the high-pressure situation of being in a race, high-pressure situation being in front of a live audience, and if something does go wrong, you need to know how to adjust it, you know. And one of the things that we did in practice was we fought through mistakes. If we were doing a full run, there was a mistake, we'd figure out how to make it work and keep going with the rest of the dance. We wouldn't just bail, and, you know, because on show night, you don't have that opportunity.
I was there in the audience during The Wiz, your jazz piece, and I was so impressed because you just fought through it. You didn't sit there and go, oops, I made a mistake. And I applaud you for that, because so many people panic in the moment.
And I thought I was going to. I struggled with that dance all week. That was one of the hardest weeks of the season for me. And when I made that mistake, I saw the whole thing coming unraveled in my head. But, you know, something about the adrenaline on show night, you just kind of, I knew what I had to do to make it as, you know, recover it as best I could.
You see the recovery moment, your eyes like click in. Honestly, I don't know if you've gone back and watched it and you're like, I got the rest of this, and you're relaxed, and it was wonderful to see.
No, I was very lucky, because again, I mean, luckily that was one of the ones where we had a lot of mistakes in practice, so I was kind of used to that. But I mean, for the way that week had gone and the way that the run itself ended up going on show night, we were happy with the scores we got. I was just happy it was done.
Well, and you had some challenges too with Sharna being injured, and I thought you adapted very well to a different partner with using Jenna.
No doubt, and again, a lot of that just comes from how Sharna prepared me in the first place. You know, how she taught me how to dance. She didn't just teach me how to dance with her; she taught me how to dance. And so when Jenna stepped in, and she did obviously an amazing job. That first week with the Halloween week and the Suicide Squad dance was amazing, and Sharna was there in the room still with us and kind of running the show still. But it, you know, like I said, it was the preparation she gave me before that. I think that really helped.
So what is the one move that Sharna taught you that you're still like pulling out at weddings or parties?
Oh, none. I can't dance. Nobody believes me, but I actually can't dance.
You did it really well, though.
I faked it really well. Look, here's the thing. I can do, in that scenario, I could do a very specific set of steps that was drilled into my head to a certain style and a certain song, right? Mm-hmm. But when like we're at a wedding and some random song comes on, someone says, hey, do a dance. I don't know what to do. That's not what we did.
You're like, I need Sharna here to conduct this.
Give me like 4 days and give her some time to come up with some creative, and we'll work on it for a couple hours a day, and then, yeah, fine.
All right, one final question on this, because we don't know that if All-Star season is ever going to happen, but would you sign up again and do the whole thing over?
It's so tough. I mean, I'll wake up one morning and say, yeah, let's do it tomorrow. And I'll wake up another morning and think, man, I'm so glad I don't have to do that ever again. You know, it's tough. I mean, the problem is the competitor in me would want to go and do as well as possible. And I just know how much it takes out of you to do it that well, to dedicate that kind of time to all the rehearsals and all the rest of it. And if you're an all-star season, you're going to have to up the game even more than you did in the regular season. And I don't know. If it ever happens, and if they actually ask, it would be a very difficult decision one way or the other.
And then Dina Katz gets on the phone and you go.
I wouldn't let Dina be on the phone, because then I know how it would go. Right? I want to make the decision. I don't want her to convince me what decision to make.
This time we'll let you go to the beach. I promise.
No, there'll be no beach time. I know that.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk with us. It's so great. You gained so many fans just from last season, and I appreciate. Good luck this weekend here at Grand Prix.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.